All right, hello everybody. This is Yosef Shaftal, and I'm joined with Tomer Friedman from Studio 42. We're at IBA. What we are is we're a place where founders basically come from Israel. IBA is Israeli Blockchain Association, and founders all over the world, and not only Israel, actually come to us for one thing only, which is that I have this great idea that I want to put together, and should I go ahead and do it or not? Should I go ahead and make a business out of it or not? Okay, and because we've dealt with many founders over years, there's a lot of rules that if somebody follows them, basically you'll know if somebody's going to be a successful founder or not from the get-go. And since a lot of you guys here just built particular projects, or you're building a particular project for the hackathon, you probably are asking yourself a question: is this going to be something that can become a business? Is this a project that I can go ahead and work with and do something with it, or is this something that I should probably stop and give up on and think of something else to do? So I really hope that the session that we're going to have today is going to make your guys' life a lot easier to make that determination. And once you make the determination, we'll give you a tool set that you need for your project to succeed. Now, historically speaking, most of the hackathons are done by people that come from tech backgrounds, and very rarely do you have tech people that also know how to do marketing on the business side of things, how to attract capital, how to do a lot of stuff, especially for the first time founders, right? Second time, third time founders, they've already been there, done that. They know what works, what doesn't work, and life is easier for them. But if it's the first time that you're going to found a project and you're thinking whether or not it's something that you want to kind of do and go with it, the next 45 minutes or so are here for you, for Tomer and myself, to basically help you guys, guide you guys, and make you decide whether or not this is something that you want to pursue for the rest of your career. Is it something that you want to get started with? And if the answer is yes, you're going to have the tool set that you need for you to basically succeed. So Tomer, if you want to just kind of say a couple of words as well and introduce yourself.
Yeah, hey, nice to meet you all. My name is Tomer. I'm from 42 Studio. So 42 Studio is a leading digital marketing agency for the Web3. We're specializing in basically doing everything which is related to marketing. We have like crazy, abilities in everything which is related to, pushing the right traffic, using different traffic sources. Either it's LinkedIn or Bit Media, Coinzilla, and Twitter, and etc. We have the ability to, and we took also part in doing some of the, most of the promising projects on the Web3, UI, UX wise, and also websites and all kind of stuff. We also have abilities to, to take part in managing communities and all kind of socials, which will eventually will help in the growth of the brand itself. Um, so I'm here to answer all your questions. If you're looking for growth, if you're looking for UI UX, basically if you're looking to to market your startup to VCs, you have a lot of stuff to do. So here will explain from his side. Once we get to my side, I will explain of what are the most important things that VCs always ask brand. If you have a community, if you have socials, if the engagement and the awareness, it's high, and if there's a product, a website, UI, UX, mockups, those kind of stuff it depends on which stage you are, but those are the stuff that VCs always take in mind before they invest in a product or a project. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tomer. So basically, guys, like Tomer said, right, and this is the beautiful trick about doing a startup, right? You basically have to make three separate campaigns for you to be able to be a successful founder. Okay. And a lot of people think that here I'm going to build this amazing technology and then I'll be able to go ahead and get some, funding for it and things are going to work out and my tech is going to sell itself. Well, that doesn't happen. The rule number two is that superior technology is not a guaranteed for adopted technology. In order for you to get adoption for superior technology, you need literally something, an X factor that people will actually talk about you, recognize you, and see the value in which you have to offer. All right. And that's the big thing. Now, before we get started about the three stages that you have to basically complete in order for you to succeed, right? I want to tell you guys, I want to ask you guys a question. So, the project that you're working on, right? Are you ready to commit to it for the next 4 to 5 years? Literally, I want you guys to really think about it right now and say, is this something that I want to sign a contract with myself and say that for the next 4 to 5 years, this is going to be my baby? This is going to be something that I'll be able to wake up for at 3 o'clock at night and not sleep for the next 24, 48, 72 hours because I'm going to work on it because I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Do you have that or you don't have that? If you're not ready to commit for the next 4 to 5 years in whatever business that you guys are building right now, I'm telling you right now, my suggestion is stop. You should not be a founder because only the ones that commit that I'm going to go ahead and sign a contract with myself and it's a success story on every single project on top 200 on CoinMarketCap, right? The first step is commitment. When you commit to yourself and when you sell yourself and get yourself pumped up and say, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this is what I want to do for the next 4 to 5 years. That's it. This is the first decision that needs to be made. Once you make that decision, and it's a very hard decision to make because that's the differentiator between the top 200 and the bottom 200. It's the commitment that the founder is willing to take on the startup that he does. Do your due diligence on the market. It's a hard decision to make. It's not an easy one. But if you want to do it, great. You just commit to it and say, and literally take a piece of paper and write your name, last name, and say, I, so and so, no pun intended, actually say that for the next 4 to 5 years, for the better, for worse, whether in poverty or in a lot of money, so forth and so forth, I'm signing a contract with myself and I'm saying that for the next 4 to 5 years, I am going to work on this project and do my best to bring this solution to the world. Once you sign that paper, once you sign the contract, all right, that's when the game actually really begins. Until you commit to yourself on this, the game hasn't started. The game hasn't started. And that's the step number one. So once you guys take that step number one and decide that this is what you really want to do, then we go to the fun part, the stage number one of your startup. And like I said earlier, there are 3 stages in every single business after the person commits that this is the business that he wants to do. Stage number one is selling your business to investors. Unless you guys are super wealthy, have a lot of money, have a rich father or uncle that died or bought Bitcoin or Shiba Inu 4 or 5 years ago, and you're so rich that you don't care about money, guess what? In order for you to commit for the business for the next 4 to 5 years, you need certain needs that are met. If you're single, you're not really looking for much. You're looking for a place to live that's a comfortable lifestyle, more or less, food, enjoyment, whatever budget it is, for you to have a peace of mind. If you're already more mature, have a responsibility, whether you're married or you have children, so forth and so forth, right? Need to make sure that that part of it is taken care of. Now, in order for you to take care of that, you need investors that are going to invest money in you. That's just the bottom line. Because a lot of times, whenever I start a particular company, first thing that I also always look, once I make a decision, that's what I want to do, right? I always look for people that I want to do it together with, people that are going to be my investors and people that are going to buy my vision of the future, buy me, buy what I'm building, buy my vision, and invest money in it. And when they invest money in whatever I'm building, right, that's the first sale that needs to be made. All right. So if you don't know how to target yourself to VCs and to investors in general, for you to be able to have your basic needs met, basically, have your food and shelter and so forth and so forth, right? It's impossible for you to build a startup. So you need to make sure that the VCs give you money so you can hire people that you need for this, because nobody can do it alone. You need somebody that will invest money in the infrastructure costs that are needed. You need somebody that is going to invest in you for your marketing, for your user acquisition, and so forth, right? So stage number one is how to you need to market yourself to VCs and investors so you can raise capital. And this is what most of the lecture is going to be about. So I'm just going to quickly cover the stage number two and stage number three before we go back to stage number one. Okay. So stage number two, after you get the capital, all right, after you already have the capital, you already build an MVP, or you already build a product, or something that is out there that you can already market. Next thing you need is actually getting money, getting users. You need the ability. The second sale is making sale to the users, bringing those users, converting those users, and maintaining those users. All right, that's the key. What you need to learn how to do. Once again, it's acquisitions, conversion, and then user retention. Those are the things that you need to worry about the most. Okay, that's the stage number two, where you basically, after you get the money from the VCs, you go and you bring users to whatever product that you're building right now. Okay, and you build along the way. And then afterwards, we go to the step number three. In the tokenized world, most likely your token is gonna go out, and it has to go out. Otherwise, whatever you're building is not really gonna work, right? So that's why the third thing that you need to do is the third sale that you need to make is you need to already sell your product to the public, where the public is gonna believe in what you're building, for them to hold your coin over a long period of time, use the token, and people that are your token holders are also your cheerleaders for the future as well. Okay, so that's the third stage that you need to concentrate on. Now, Tomer Studio 42 IBA, we support you every single step of the way in all three stages. However, what's important to know is that there's a totally different ball game that you have to play in terms of marketing and sales in stage number one compared to stage number three or stage number two, where you have totally different audience, totally different users, totally different people that you're attracting, the different amount of people that you're attracting and converting and keeping. And the game is totally different. Okay. So we are here to support founders in every single one of the stages that I just talked about. And I would probably say that we're better than most people. We're as good as anybody in the space in terms of helping founders with that and supporting them with this particular mission. Okay. So stage two and stage three, something that Tomer will talk a little bit more afterwards, which is going to be more like successful marketing principles. I'm here to talk to you about a very simple thing, the stage number one, which means that after you make the decision that you're ready to commit for the next 4 to 5 years to this venture of yours, all right? Stage number one, how do I raise money from the venture capital funds? And how do I make sure that I'm backed by the venture capital funds that I want, that I think are going to be strategically beneficial to me, and not just some people are going to throw money at me and that's it, forget about me, right? How do I get those value added investors that can give me that extra golden touch for me to scale my business to a different level? How do I get access to those? All right. Step number one, you need to have beautiful materials. When you speak with VCs, and you can get to VCs very different ways, and we will talk about that in a second, right? VCs, when they speak with you right now at a pre-seed seed stage, where you guys at right now, right? At the very first stage, they only care about three things. Thing number one they care about is who you are and how you market them and how do you maintain your relationships with them. If they see that you are amazing at marketing yourself towards the VCs, you know how to get their attention whenever you want it, you know how to basically be in front of their eyes without being annoying and always like sitting on them and just sending them messages all the time and being a pain in the butt, right? You don't want to be that. You want to do it classically, and you want to do it with class, where it all happens naturally. All right. If VCs know and see that you are capable of marketing yourself properly to them, then they say, if this team knows how to do it well with my stage, I'm sure they will be able to figure out how to market users on stage number two, and they will be able to learn how to market themselves to the public on stage number three, which means that the chances of this team winning the game for us, together with us, and actually making us ROI on the investment that we're going to make over here right now is pretty high. All right. Now, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 21, 22, money was literally 20, 21, 22, money was literally on the floor. You could have said that you're building, I don't know, like whatever, and you would probably get funded from it, right? Right now, getting funded is a lot more harder. Why? Because the motion is against us. The motion is not with us. So the VCs that take a lot more time to make a commitment, to make a decision, and their due diligence process is a lot longer because of it. Why? They take their 2 months, they take their 3 months, and in this time, they're actually watching your startup without you even knowing about it. Especially if you had 2 or 3 conversations with VCs about your project, guess what? They're interested. What they need to watch and see that in this time period of 2 to 3 months, you're capable of showing signs that the team knows how to market themselves, that the team knows how to market their product, that the team is savvy in marketing, that the team knows how to get attention towards them. All right. And if they don't see it, you might have the best piece of technology, but they're just not going to give you money because they know if you don't know how to market to them, most likely you will not know how to market to others. That's just the bottom line. All right. So that's why we're going to go back and step a bit right now and talk about how do we market our startup to the VCs. Okay. But before we do that, there's 2 more pieces that the VCs are looking for before they will invest money in a startup or not. Like I said, the first one is the founding team, the people behind the project. If they're committed or not, if they're resilient or not, or if they know how to market themselves or not, if they know how to get attention to them whenever they want to without going direct at it and without being a pain in the butt about it, right? So the stage number 2 and stage number 3, the part 2 and part 3 of what they're looking for is the following. Part 2 is the problem. What is the problem that you really are solving? Are you really solving some kind of a problem that exists or doesn't exist? How feasible that the problem that you're looking to solve, how feasible it is that this problem is going to be relevant or not going to be relevant. All right. And also whether or not it's something that is a good idea that's a temporary fix, or it's an idea that's going to literally do a breakthrough revolution in the way people conduct business in crypto for the years to come. Okay. So it's very important for you to understand what problem did your technology solve? And is this a problem that's relevant or not? What is the pain points of this problem right now? How much money this problem is costing to the Web3 community right now? What is the market audience for this problem? And make sure you do your due diligence on the problem and that the problem exists and that there is not a team that's been already trying to solve this problem, which is great for like a year and a half, two, in a stealth mode. All right. And you just never be able to catch up to them because they're going to have a first mover advantage. And yeah, good luck with that. You know what I mean? Like literally, good luck with catching up afterwards, especially if you're looking for funding right now and they've been already in the stage 2 for year and a half. Well, you just got to stage 1, right? So once again, what is the problem, and if it's a real problem or it's an invented problem? All right, and then we go to the step number 3, which is the solution. How are you solving this problem? Is your solution to this problem just an easy fix? Or is your solution to the problem something that, once again, is a surgery where you literally change the whole texture of whatever the problem is, right? So that's the stage number, like, this is the problem number, like, thing number 3 that the VCs are going to be looking at very, very, very closely. Like, how solid is your solution, right? And afterwards, whether or not your team is capable of really building out this solution and scaling this solution. All right. So why am I saying this to you guys? Whenever you guys going to do presentations in front of VCs or talk in front of the investors and so forth, right? Make sure that you understand that all of your materials, your pitch deck, your website, your socials, everything that you have available at the early stage actually discuss this particular thing, which is that You know the team, the problem, the solution. The three most important things that are out there. Okay. Now, with that said, let's say you just came to us at Studio 42 and you got yourself a starter pack, which, by the way, guys, because you're part of the Chainlink program, you guys will get $1,000 discount for the package, which is a nice discount, by the way. But you got the starter pack, which is the entire tool set that you need, including some tool sets that's going to help you guys, get VC's attentions whenever you need them, and a few tricks of the game that most people don't really know about. But some of the most successful founders have used those tricks, and that's why they're who they are right now, right? So let's say you bought this, you already went in front of the VCs. How do I get myself in front of the VCs, right? Like, what do I do? And these are the three rules of the VC introductions. And every single VC that I speak with has exactly the same exact attitude that I'm going to tell you right now, okay? If you send a VC an email saying that, hi, how are you doing? I'm building this and this and this and this and this. Come invest with me. The chances of you that the VCs are going to take you ever seriously in their lives is probably, I don't know, 0.01%, maybe even less, but not more than that. Why? Because my mailbox I literally get every single day around 15 to 20 emails of projects that I really don't even care about, that are just sending us emails and tell us, guys, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing. I don't care. Why? Because you came to me fresh. Nobody's vouching for you. Nobody else knows you. Not interested. That's where Chainlink team will help you guys afterwards if you want to work with them to do some VC introductions and help you guys like a growth hack your business on that side of things, where they can do some intros and so forth, right? I mean, we do that as well, but that's not our main business. But Chainlink, they're amazing at it, by the way. But so you get in front of the VCs, which is the quality number two, which is that if somebody reaches out, not good for us. If somebody introduced somebody to me, it's very important for me to know who is this person that introduced this deal to me, and what is my relationship with that person, and what I think of that person, right? That's the thing number two, that there are a lot of people out there that tell you, we'll introduce you to VCs, blah, 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 blah. In reality, yeah, like, I don't know how strong their relationship with those VCs are, right? I really don't know. I know Chainlink guys, they have great VC relationships because they are Chainlink, and this is what it is. I know about our relationships, but once again, it's very important to know whoever introduces you, okay? It's tough. Better be somebody that VCs trust, otherwise your value just goes down in front of their eyes, right? Not as much as you reaching out to them cold, but it's still like, it's definitely out there. Like, it's not as high as possible thing, right? But if it's a high quality person that introduces you, then it's wonderful. And the deals that are the most exciting ones are the ones when VCs actually reach out themselves to you, to the founder. Why? Because somehow they noticed your GitHub, or somehow they heard about you, or somehow they saw you somewhere, or they read some of the research that you had published, which got them very, very, very excited about whatever you're building. All right. So of course, the highest level that you can achieve in terms of like street credibility in front of VCs is if the VC actually comes out and finds you and finds a way to get in touch with you. That's the highest credibility that is out there. And if you're a good founder, and if you know how to play the game right, and if you know how to market yourself right and position yourself right, it's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to do. All you need is a toolkit that can actually get you there. You need a toolkit that will take you there. And the success is almost guaranteed because this is when the VCs are actually coming after you. Okay. So this leads me to the next point, which is probably like you guys are asking yourselves, you didn't really say something that it's all logical that it all makes sense what you're saying. But the big question is, how do I get there? How do I actually make my startup so exciting that VCs are gonna reach out to us? All right. Now, if you get one of our startup packs at Studio 42, you get that entire toolkit that all you have to do is just deploy needs and bits and pieces of it for you to be able to get that initial, let's call it the VC engine optimization tricks for you to kind of get your information in front of the VCs, for them to notice you, and for you to get in their minds a little bit, right? We offer that as well as part of our starter packs, like I said. But one of the things that VCs are always looking for, especially if you're with Chainlink, most likely the guys are infra project, more or less, and like DeFi or infra, whatever you're building at that stage. You know what I mean? So, what is some of the research that you have published until now? Because if you publish good pieces of research, which is one of the toolkits that we recommend, if you publish good research that you actually get in front of researchers where they give you the validation that your research was good, or a piece of code on your GitHub that you wrote that was very good that got voted right, okay? VCs actually notice it a lot more. Most of the VCs have actually, especially the big ones, the ones that you probably want to invest in, right? They actually have team members that this is their job to actually look through the research pieces that are coming out, to look through the code that's actually coming out, all right? And for them to show and take this note that this is something that are happening out there, right? And once again, if you have enough of those touches with them without you going directly and aggressively at them, right? You will be able to get that inbound interest that is coming from the VCs, all right? And that's the beautiful part about it, right? So another tool thing that is out there is, of course, we'll cover that more. Is next one, the pro tip that I always give is make sure that once you have your deck ready, you have to have your website ready. It has to look beautiful. Because don't forget, guys, when VCs talk to you, they want to know if you know how to market to them or not. Because if you know how to market yourself to the VCs and sell yourselves to VCs, that means that the chances of you selling yourself to users is a lot higher than somebody that doesn't know how to sell themselves to me, right? Or if you know how to sell yourself to me, the chances of you selling the public afterwards is a lot higher than not, right? It's pretty logical, I think, right? And that's where the toolkit comes in, and that's where the basically the ability of the visuals and what is the idea behind your project, and does your website actually show this or not? Are you looking at the touch small details? Because one of the most famous phrases that you will hear from VCs is the following: Do you the devil is in the details. This is one of the most important phrases that you will hear, because everybody knows that no matter how good your technology is, no matter how good you are, it's all about the execution. And if you know how to execute yourself properly and do the proper execution of stage one, which is, like I said, marketing yourselves to VCs, the chances of you executing well on stage number 2 and 3, all right, they are much higher than not. So that's why, like I said, attention to detail is just important as it gets. Where you have to have a website that's very unified, where they see that it's something that there's a thought process that was invested in it. That is not just some like you went to Wix.com or Tilda and you just pressed a few buttons and your website is out. Nobody cares about those, right? That's Instapass almost, right? Does your pitch deck, does it look organized or not? Is there a message coming across or not? Is the message unified or not? You know what I mean? Are all of these things in line with the product that you're selling to them? And if it's they see this marketing twist into this as well or not? Okay. Then once you have the website and the pitch deck ready, they always look at your socials, meaning that did you set up your socials properly? Do you have any followers? Because in the beginning, when you're a founder, they all want to look at who your friends are. They all want to see who are some of the people that are following you, or who are some of the folks that you impressed with certain things. Are your socials set up properly, or they're not set up properly? Are you followed by a bunch of quadrillion bots, or are you followed by real, diligent, trustworthy people that you can engage with them? Do you have a Discord channel? Do you have a Discord strategy set up? Do you have a Telegram group? Do you have a Telegram strategy that's being set up? Do you have a Twitter strategy that somebody can see that you actually have strategy in play of how you're playing your Twitter game or not? All right, those are the things that VCs always look at. Are you being shown in other social media places or not? Are there people that are sharing your research? Do you have some people that are your fans, some followers? You know what I mean? So they always are looking at that. They always are looking at that. And Tomer will cover more into the technical part of how to do these things properly, all right, and how to get things done in that direction properly to make sure that your social media game and your website and your things and your branding kit is all unified and nice and beautiful. And by the way, guys, so that you know, and Tomer will say, all of these things that are essentials, including the toolkit for you to market yourself to VCs, is something that everybody gets in our starter packs that we have at Studio 42 and IBA, right? So that's basically my part of what the things are looking for, and Tomer is going to go and expand more on how you set up this website, how to do the unified messages, and more detailed stuff. So just to summarize my part of what we just discussed until now, right? First thing that I want to tell you is this: are you ready to commit for the next 4 to 5 years to doing this? Is the question yes or no? If the question is yes, congratulations, you just unlocked stage one. Stage one is you are marketing your startup to VCs. Why? Because if VCs don't give you money, you will not be able to do whatever you want to do. Period. All right. And are you doing this right, or you're not doing this not right? And if you market yourself right to VCs, then most likely you will be much better at marketing yourself on stage two and stage three than not. Stage two is marketing yourself to users. That's where the whole acquisition, conversion, retention strategy comes in, for you to show that not only you're capable of bringing users, but you also are capable of activating those users, where they actually become paid users, or connect their wallets and they actually become your somebody that leaves a mark on your protocol or whatever you're building. All right, and then there is the third thing is retention. Are those users coming back, or they just came, converted once, and that's it? They left you. You know what I mean? And how you're building that out. That's the stage number two, which is like the growth. And then finally, once you already have the users, and once you already are ready with and you're funded, that's when you go ahead and you just show how you sell your business to the public, for the public to say that this is something that, yes, I want to hold. Yes, this is something that I want to hold for the next X amount of days, month, years, whatever the strategy you use. And you get that hype going where Twitter is talking about you, and you have a massive exposure on social media and all the other places that are out there, right? So those are the three stages. And if you guys are ready, and if you're ready to commit for the next 4 or 5 years, we can definitely take care of all of the steps along the way and help you guys and guide you guys and be next to you. But now is the interesting part. I talked about what for the past 20 minutes or so, 25 minutes or so. And now Tomer is going to talk about more how do you achieve those goals, right? Some bits and pieces. How do you unlock some of the things that we talked about? So, Tomer, please.
Cool. Thanks also. It was amazing as always. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the marketing side. So basically, the one of the mistakes that is always happening when a brand or founder is reaching out, and his first question and his first saying is that I don't have a budget. Now, basically, if you don't have a budget, you know you can stop of thinking about how to do marketing, because you will have to have the perfect pitch deck. You will have to have the perfect funnel, the perfect landing page to attract all the VCs. You need to show them of what is your product, who is the team behind it, and a lot more. And UI UX always takes a lot of the project budget, and the marketing comes in a later stage. So let's think about what you need to do. So basically, I see a lot of pitch decks that is sending me on a daily basis, and one of the mistakes that I see is that the content is good, solid. It doesn't have like the right messaging. It doesn't have the right structure. It doesn't lead you into the right story telling, and it doesn't build up the story as it should. Now, over this, basically, you need to have a unique design. Now, you can have
you can't send into VCs. You can't send them like Google, Google Slides or those kind of stuff. And today, the market is very hectic, and you need to understand that basically the design needs to be super, super, super unique and attractive, because the VCs basically read like they have like 20, 30 seconds starting reading the pitch deck. And then if the design attracts them a little bit more, they will continue reading. Hopefully they will get to the end of the pitch deck, and they will, you know, uh, um, get attracted by this pitch deck, and they will contact you and etc., or forward it into another VC, and then you will get funded. So this is the pitch deck, and we made a lot of them lately, going in a higher level by one. um, so yeah, the first thing will be pitch deck. Now, after the pitch deck, basically, if you don't have a landing page, one pager, I would suggest to wait, because having the right one pager, you don't have to have like a full website to start with, to get to attract the VCs, but you have to get the perfect funnel, the perfect one pager. So once you send everyone the pitch deck, which is on the DocSend, so they will read it, then they will be redirected to the one pager, and they need to see like the messaging need to be very exact, the storytelling needs to be very exact, and everything needs to be very designed, and it should be structured. There will be like the who we are, the team, the roadmap, what are we bringing to the table, what are the solutions that we're trying to solve, with a cool mockups that will show like a hint, a glimpse of the product itself. I think that it's very important. Um, yeah, and then basically, once moving forward, the other step will be to start the UI UX. So we had hand in hand with cool projects in the last 3-4 years, and we saw that, and the market is changing, but we saw that basically you need to have a UI UX, because the backend doesn't, it doesn't, the VCs doesn't care about the backend. Let's say to start with, they don't actually understand. They don't see the code. Doesn't matter if you have something on the backend, but once you have stuff that you can basically show them, like screenshots of the UI UX of the product itself, the wireframing of 30, 40 product pages, what is the uniqueness and the functionality. So once this is structured in a very visual way, um, it attracts the VCs, and they are ready to say, okay, so what's behind it? Who is the team? Where is the page? Where is the pitch deck? What are you aiming for? What is the funding that you're looking for? So I would say that having those three things basically are the most important. And just to give you like a small secret of what we do here in the studio. So basically, when you're already sending a VC to the page itself, we implement the pixel. So once they're already on the page, once they go out, they will see all kind of banners, and they will understand that at this moment you know how to retarget uh, um, the audience, so they won't be afraid to invest, with understanding that you have like an understanding of marketing, how does it work, and these three products with this special thing that we do, bring the VCs to the table. Now, if your product is not good enough, that's another issue. But at the moment, this is what I think that's the best. And without each one of them, that will be a problem in these days, because 2 years ago, 1 year ago, it was very easy. Everyone put their money on the table. They said, "Who wants it?" And everyone, they were happy to give it to everyone. But now it's a little bit different. Now, let's say that the next step, what will be the next step? So basically, once they are seeing everything is in place, and they're very interested in getting more more information. So the next stage will be to start building the communities, start building the traction, start building the awareness, building the right persona into target, and to push those people in and to make the growth. Now, there are like few services that I think it's a must. Now, building the whole socials, make sure that you have the right strategy, the right content strategy, the visual concept, planned 1, 2, 3 months ahead, with the goals and KPIs that you wish to reach. You need to prepare with a good community, and you need to make sure that the server is restructured, optimized, and all the bots are in place, and you have good moderators that knows English, and with a high level, if English is your target audience. You need to know in advance who is your target audience, where does it, with which platforms you can achieve the best results with paying the lowest, I don't know if it's CPC or CPM or etc. So basically you need to define your target audience. Now, after you define your target audience, you need to establish your goals. Now, are you looking for beta testers? Are you looking for crypto enthusiasts? Are you looking for developers? Which I must say that this is the hardest audience to market to, because this is it. This is just this is what happens. So after, basically, when you establish your goals, you need to understand not only who is your target audience, but how many and what do you want them to do. You want them to join the communities. You want them uh, um, to engage with your posts. You just want to show the community growth, or you want them to take part in the games, in games time. You want them to play, you want them to show screenshots of the games, you want them to buy NFTs, you want them to buy tokens, so whatever. So you need to define your target and goals. Okay, so basically, when you're getting into this, after you define your target, you need to determine your budget. So basically, you need to take all your budget and start allocate it into marketing campaign. You need to understand that when you start, you need to understand, okay, so I wish to invest, let's say, up to $5 per user that is signing in on the landing page as a beta tester, or as I don't know, wants to take part in the revolutionary product or your revolutionary product. So once he's in, you need to cap the CPL that you're aiming for. And once you have allocated the marketing budget, you need to create your targeted content and unique design. Now, this is a process, and let's say that it takes about 2, 3, 4 weeks to think about who is the persona, who are we targeting, what are you aiming to do with this audience? Is it just the amount of people, or is it just the quality of the people? Now, if you're looking for low quality, you can always use, I don't know, you can always use like a Gleam and those kind of stuff, to attract people and tell them, okay, so do this, do that, join this, and then you will see, like, in a 1 or 2 weeks, you will make your socials and everything like go in crazy numbers. We can reach, I don't know, 30,000, 40,000 in 2 weeks if we're pushing low quality traffic. But once you need the traffic to be engaged with your content, so that's a different thing. And we need to think about what will be the right platform, and basically also offer them something valuable, because we're in the industry so for a lot of time, and we think that without motivating the people, it can be, by the way, it can be by educating them, it can be by showing them what the product is, not just money rewarding or token rewarding or NFT rewarding. That will bring you the low quality of the traffic. But if you're aiming for the best quality traffic, so by webinars, AMAs, those kind of stuff, and to show them that you are the leader in this field of interest. So that will bring you the high quality traffic. Now, once you have all your community and socials together, and you have a good website, and all the growth and campaigns are working perfectly, this is your time to go viral. Now, think about what will be the best for you to get good attraction with zero budget, because you already spent, you build a community, you have a lot of traction, and now you need to think about the viral. So you can use your influencers, you can use PR, you can use Gleam, you can use all kind of email marketing, you can use all kind of Twitter posts and etc., just to make sure that everything is working perfectly. Yeah. So measurements. So basically, it's not the Web3. It's a bit tricky. On the Web2, you can basically measure everything. You can measure ROI, but here it's a little bit problematic. What I suggest is that if you're doing campaigns, you can use Google Analytics. You can use all kind of third-party tools. You can use volume if you wish to track to make tracking on the links and etc. But again, the measurement part, the marketing ops side, that's the most important, and don't start without it, because if you're pushing like for multiple platforms, if you're doing collaborations, if you're doing PR, or all kind of working with influencers, you need to have the full understanding of where you put your budget and what is your return. So you need to understand, if I'm putting like $1,000 here as a budget and I'm getting only 20 users, and instead I'm putting $1,000 on a specific article on, let's say, I don't know, whatever website there is. So it will bring in 10,000 people. So the measurement of campaigns is very important. And the most important thing is basically, after you understand which traffic source bring you the best results, you just need to push it more and then allocate the best budget into this place. And before I'm finishing, so basically what I think is, after Sosa spoke for 35 minutes, he said a lot of important things. If you believe in your project, your product, if you have a good team, if you have a perfect pitch deck, and you need to have everything aligned, you need to have everything strategically prepared, content, design. These days, everything needs to be unique, everything needs to be in place. And for sure, your product itself needs to be in high level. But yeah, once the VCs, turning into funding your project, I think that Yosef can continue from here. But basically, once you have everything prepared, you're in the golden. You're all good.
All right, thanks so much, Tomer. So I think it's time for us to start accepting some questions, right? Because we give quite a bit of input, and would like to see if there's any questions that we should answer. Let's say I already have the long-term project, ready community digital business model to generate money back. How much should request for a budget? Meaning, like, how much you should request for a budget for what? Like Tomer said, what's important, right, is for you guys to decide what are your KPIs and what you're looking to achieve. All right, that's the most important thing. and you have to be very realistic about it because you know it's not something that you can do. Just like I don't code at all. I work with a lot of coders, but if I want something coded, I don't do it myself. I get somebody to do it for me, right? What you need to know is have the ability to give them direct tasks of what is that you actually want to accomplish, what is that you actually want to achieve, and based upon that, you actually set up the strategy and the budget for you to do it. Now, for a starter pack, our starter pack prices are usually $10,000. That's the price where you get the first, let's say, essentials for you to get started as a business. And through Chainlink, you guys get $1,000 discount, for taking that package and working with it. But like overall speaking, that's the most important thing. Like find the KPIs that you want to achieve, and then you can just have a chat with us, and we can tell you what would be more or less the budget that you would need for that, right? Tomer, do you want to say something about that question?
No, I think that you're correct. Basically, I would like to see the question again, but let's say that marketing budget is very broad. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, so basically, again, marketing budget is very broad. You need to understand what are your KPIs. Once you understand what is your KPIs, we need to allocate the budget. We need to think what will be the best strategy. Now, I don't know in details what are your plans are, but you can reach me out, later on Telegram. Yeah, and and then I will ask you a few questions that will help me understand and give you a better answer.
That's actually a very good question, but I don't really understand. Can you mix crypto and venture fundraising? I mean, if you look at the numbers, there was quite a bit of venture funding that was invested in crypto over the past, a couple of years, especially. And some of the biggest funds in the space right now are actually investing in crypto, right? Whether it's A16Z or DSD or Sequoia, All Out Currency, and those guys, they're like, pretty big names in the real Web 2 world, in the venture world. Founders Fund, Y Combinator, like all these real venture fundraising guys are coming into crypto. Uh, is that kind of was that the question, or maybe I misunderstood it? Like, I don't know.
By the way, I see someone is asking, do you have any examples for the pitch deck? Yeah, we have plenty. We have dozens. So yeah, every day we work on a different pitch deck. So yeah, so just reach out later, and I will give you a few samples. Yeah.
Good question. Once again, like I said earlier, doesn't matter what you're building. If your MVP is so stunning and your complete pitch deck is amazing, if you know how to basically target VCs for them to reach out to you, that's wonderful. But being somebody that's been in the space for a very long time in the real world side as well as the crypto world, you still need to have you need to know how to market yourself, and you need to know how to
Every,
bring. You
every,
should look at
everyone needs a so-so. Yeah. So just
you
reach
should
out to IBA and yeah.
you should be able to know how to target them and look at VCs as your customer leads, right? What does it mean? That just like any customer, you need to know how to market them, you need to know how to acquire him, convert him, retain him. Same thing is with the VCs, right? The only difference is that if your customer acquisition cost is, let's say, $50 and whatever in the real world, in VCs it might cost you much more. But don't forget that an average VC writes you a much larger check, especially if your project is nice, right? And that's the money that you need for the future. So that's why, like, if you are, it's like a tool set that you need. Like if I want to say that I'm a very good carpenter, but I don't have the tools for me to do the carpentry work, then I'm not going to succeed, right? Like I need a hammer, I need the chisel, and I need the board and all that kind of stuff. Like can't do without it, right? And it's the same thing here. The fact that you have good skills and you have a good pitch deck and a good MVP, that's a good start. But how do you get people's attentions? Reaching out yourself doesn't really work. Rarely works. Being introduced is amazing, but positioning yourself so they reach out to you, that's a home run right there. That's a wonderful question. What tools do you recommend to measure that user retention? Right now, we see that basically data and analytics platforms have raised a lot of money over the past couple of years that allow you to track what it is. I mean, if you're a DeFi protocol, I guess TVL is the best measure. In that, I mean, more TVL better. But like another thing is what's an average TVL that's bring in by an average user. That's also another good characteristic and another good statistic for you to know as well, right? But regarding the tooling, there's like things like Space and Time and Ceramic and a whole bunch of other solutions out there, BitsCrunch for NFTs, that give you this data that you actually need for you to be able to kind of like measure the analytics behind it and know more about your users, right? And who those users are and what they're up to and how much time they spend on your interaction with your T app and so forth and so forth. So there's a lot of tooling out there for that.
That's a good one.
$38 in liquidity. All right. It's, depends on what your project is and what you're building. And, that's the key. Like, is this an institutional product? Is this a retail product? Once again, like you just need to know more about the product before you know how to position it right. And once you position it right, then you can already target the users and, not a problem. All right. When I say VC will take care of the rest,
It will take care of the
it will take care of the money, which is important.
Of the money. Yeah, your team does
it will take
everything.
care of the
That's for
salaries.
sure.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
salaries, servers and infrastructure that you need, and office and computers, and
By the way, VC can help you with a lot of connections if this is what he's aiming for in his question. So VC can help you with connections, can help you and set up a lot of stuff, but the hard work is with the team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the best VCs that are out there, like some of the like really, really good ones, right? They actually have a lot of very good, smart technical people that work with them. So sometimes, when you have a problem, which is a technical problem, you don't know how to overcome it. They usually have like engineers on staff that can help you with, how to find the product market fit and so forth and so forth. A lot of VCs out there, they actually work with us as well to help mentor their startups on how to go to market, how to target themselves, how to market themselves. So it's those connections. Just to guys give you an example, right? Like we're like for our growth and for our pre-launch clients, we're extremely, extremely picky of who we take as our clients. Unless we have like 2 VC confirmations and 2 VCs that we are in touch with, they actually can vouch for the product. The chances of you taking us taking you for like our growth or pre-launch as a client is very hard. So that's another thing that VCs give you, is the fact that they can give you access to service providers that wouldn't take you as clients without the relationship that they have with the VC. So those are some of just example of a few things of how VCs help. But main reason why we need them is because of the money, right? So. All right, cool. So I guess there are no more questions. It was very, very good to do this. Thank you very much all for joining in and listening in, and hopefully this is going to be helpful for you guys. And if you guys need anything, please reach out and be in touch with us. 42studio.io is the website. And like I said, anybody that came here from Chainlink, they get a special voucher and credits from us as well. All right. If you hyped yourself up so much, and if you're so much in hype that everybody wants to talk to you, let's not forget that in 2022, right? In 2021, those were the years of when some of the super hyped up projects raised crazy amounts of money, right? Crazy amounts of money. And it was because that there was that hype factor involved. So if you hyped yourself up so much that everybody wants to invest in you, then yeah, you don't need an introduction. They will reach out to you themselves, right? Literally, they will reach out to yourself. If you're the next Bored Ape, and Crazy Frogs right now are doing pretty good as well, I guess. But like, if you're building the next Yuga Labs, then you already have crazy community and crazy hype. Then yeah, you don't really need anybody to introduce you. On the contrary, you have more VCs knocking on your door begging to give you money, right? And that's been the case for projects that are like oversubscribed by 20x, 30x, 50x, 100x. So that's just what it is. Like, if you know how to create that FOMO, then yeah, you don't need intros. You will be bothered by VCs to give you money.
Yeah,
So
cool.
I guess
I see that.
no more questions.
Yeah.
Thank you very much all for talking to us, and add us on LinkedIn, Yosef Soso Shaftal. That's how you'll find me, and 42studio.io. And looking forward to hearing from you guys.
Thank you all. Thanks. Bye-bye.